Hi everyone, welcome back to the Ministry of Guitar. I'm Utkarsh, and today this is going to be perhaps what you can view as a continuation of the guitar myths or the tone comparison series, but it's really the first in a series that I'm going to call David versus Goliath. At the Ministry of Guitar and in the collection, we have both very expensive and much more affordable guitars. And it's not to say that only expensive guitars are good or expensive guitars are not worth it. This is not really about that at all. But it's really to give you an accurate picture of the difference between an expensive guitar and a cheaper guitar. So to kick this off, I'm going to compare two 24 fret PRS guitars at very different price points. You have the $700-800 Santana SE. This is, of course, the Abraxas limited edition. Oops. The shooting always pulls me off, but anyways. So this is this guitar. Just hitting the stores in Europe and the US, came a bit earlier to Asia. That's why I have my hands on it. This little thing over here is punching a lot of well above its weight, in my opinion. You can read the full review. And so this is in this corner. So this is going to be one comparison point. And this is my current number one in terms of what I use to play with my band. This is a custom 24, 2020 custom 24 core, which is USA made, artist package with a beautiful flame maple neck. This has the much applauded upgrades of the nitro finish, the TCI pickups. And this thing retails at about $5,000. All prices in US, of course. So a few things to note just before we get into the sounds. Firstly, the guitars are in original factory spec, which means I have not even changed the strings. Actually, even that one, even the custom 24 hasn't needed string change. I've been playing it for a few months. I keep my guitars in a humidity controlled room, and I really don't sweat. So that I tend to be quite forgiving on my guitars when it comes to strings. So, but the strings are different. The custom 24 comes in a 10 to 46 as standard, and the Santana comes in a 9 to 42. So that will affect the sound. Number two, of course, there are wood differences and there are model differences. So the intent is really to show you, is it really true that the sound is significantly better for a more expensive guitar? This has got nothing to do with playability. We are just talking sound here today for the purpose of this comparison. So, and of course, the third thing to note is both the guitars are tuned in E flat. The Santana came like that, and I adjusted the PRS down myself because that's what my band plays in. So let's hear the sounds, and then I'm going to come back and share with you my opinions. So some of you who have seen the full Santana review may have seen the sounds earlier as well. I did cover that in that review, but here are my expanded thoughts. The Santana's pickups are much hotter than the Custom 24's pickups. And a much hotter pickup, you will always see that difference in a clean sound. So when you compare the clean sounds of the guitars, you will note that the Santana is much hotter and much louder. So that can give one impression. In these comparisons, I deliberately keep the settings almost exactly the same. Uh, you have to note that there's a lot you can do in post processing, right? And you can make something louder, you can cut off some frequencies, and I could do that and make a great sound from either of these two guitars. But the intent of this is just to show you exactly what you get. Literally, if you just pick it out of the box and you just plug it in. Not everybody has the time and patience or even the knowledge to sit and fidget around too much with the tones. So the Santana is louder, definitely. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'll tell you, it's actually not that great a thing. Louder pickup is okay, but it's not necessarily a good thing. It depends on certain applications, and for me, in my experience, the only application where a higher output pickup makes sense is in a high quality bridge pickup, really. And even then, that pickup needs to be tuned and adjusted. Just any high output pickup is not that good. So for me, that's immediately not a big positive for the Santana having such high output pickups. And I would say in terms of the clean sounds, I prefer having the palette of the custom 24. And the difference for me is most apparent because when I say palette, with a lower output sound, you can do more to it. It's cleaner bass to start off with. And the difference for me is most apparent on the bridge pickup, where the Santana bridge humbucker has that thing that if you take most bridge humbuckers in a pristine, clean sound, you will not get a very nice sound. You have to add some distortion, you have to do some adjustments, but the bridge sound in the Custom 24 is eminently usable. So that's the first difference that I see. But this is not to say that you can't use a Santana. It just needs a bit more work. And all of this has to be prefaced with you can use both of these guitars for anything. These nuances and differences are just going to be noticed by guitarists like us. When it comes to distorted sounds, the difference is less, definitely. You don't notice such a huge difference in the sounds. I had to listen to it twice. You could say that the Custom 24 has a bit more clarity, but it's not such a huge difference. So this is where I was actually pleasantly surprised, because I thought that the Santana would be a world of mud, and the beautiful TCI humbuckers of the Custom 24 would blow it out of the water so that there would be no comparison between the two. That did not happen. The Santana acquainted itself pretty well. So that was another interesting finding and another myth busted for me. I do think these modern day, more affordable pickups, and the Santana has new Santana pickups, whatever that means, they are actually pretty good, and they can hold their own. So yeah, that was really the key difference that I noted. Santana has a higher output and clean. They don't sound quite as nice, though they are louder. And when you get things distorted up, the difference isn't that apparent, and that is credit to the Santana. So these are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Let me know what other kind of comparisons you would like. What would be a great David versus Goliath? Is it the obvious Epiphone versus Gibson Les Paul? Do you want to see like a cheap 7-string versus a expensive 7-string? Do you want to see a Squier versus a Fender? I don't own a Squier, but I can always find one. So let me know what kind of comparisons you would like, and we will see how this goes. All right, till next time.